Okay, so today it is Thursday, April 18, 2023. I keep saying, I don't even know why, I keep saying 2027. I don't know. It is cold. It is cold. Yesterday, I froze my ass. I didn't think it was gonna be serious like that. It was. Because there's nobody today. There's nobody. I don't know where they all went. Something happened over there. I see the yellow over there too. They have yellow trappings. There was a bitch right here. Oh, there she goes. She was standing right here in the corner with the damn dog. Go fuck yourself. You know, such a big park. And don't say nothing. Don't say good morning. Don't say. I'm telling you, these ratchet bitches. One day they're gonna get it. I keep praying, God, please don't, don't let me get out of character. You know, but I've been in New York City since 1992. The biggest ghetto, probably. No, this is all the biggest ghetto. But yeah, no, New York is so ghetto. I was at the bodega and it come out one of these sanitation. I think it was sanitation or it was from that building. All of a sudden, she started yelling, "Where's the chicken soup? Yeah, where's the chicken soup?" And I look at her like, and of course, she got bleach blonde hair, you know, supposedly, whatever, like bun over here. And she can, "Where's the chicken soup? Where's the chicken soup?" You know, talking to my people like that, you know, because she know he's a Mexican, and I mean, I kept, you know, and I kept talking under my breath. I was like, "What the hell is this toilet train gorilla over here?" Like, it's like the other guy, the Arab came and like, "We don't have it." Like, "Why you don't have it? You don't," and start cursing. It's fucking like this, fucking like that. Like, you know, oh my god. This is why I feel so much compassion for African American men. You know, sometimes you don't even know, like, you know, you know, him came out of that. I swear God, you know. And I mean, of course, there's a lot of room for improvement, but I mean, like, I don't know, it's so embarrassing, you know, like, they think they are men. I think they're men, you know. Yesterday I went to therapy and I was like, it was not a good day. I started telling the therapist, like, I told him I wouldn't want to be in your shoes because you got big responsibility. You're co-signing all this effing madness, and they are, They don't give him a, you know, like, I don't know, a diagnosis. I mean, they only give diagnosis when they are like, you know, totally, I guess, I don't know, out of control or whatever. That's when they write something on their chart. But I mean, it's a big responsibility to be a therapist. And not, I mean, he should at least, I'm gonna tell him next week, he should at least write a book because he is not from around here. You know, so he should write, you know, American Psycho 2.0. And I was thinking, imagine if I was a therapist. If just for me, just being transsexual, they expect me to co-sign all kinds of fuckery. I mean, like, I don't. I don't, and my therapist is gay. Like I talk to him like you guys are horrible. It keep getting even worse. And nobody dared to say, hey, you don't want equality. What you want is privilege. Just like the feminazis, Feminazis, they're like, no, it's not about equality. Come on. Can we just get real for just 1 second or not? I want to be able to, slap you and you don't do nothing to me. That's what they want. I mean, you got an entitled bitch over there, All of a sudden, I didn't even see it coming. I was minding my own business. I was talking to my friend. It's a gentleman who prepared the food. All of a sudden, this bitch in the back. Where's the chicken soup? Where's the chicken soup? Yelling at the top of her lungs. Obviously, that bitch didn't have no mother. Her mother was somewhere, somewhere. I don't know. I can tell that bitch grew up on her own. And it's sad because, I know they're suffering, all these feminazis. They're suffering tremendously, but they won't. They won't say, oh, well, maybe, this feminism business is not working for me. When you see little girls already, with shaved head over here, and talking like they're Madonna. Remember Madonna? Like a chihuahua with so many muscles. I remember one day, I think she was trying to date this Cuban woman too. Whatever, because I love it. Let's question womanhood. Because we say, father is not the one who procreate, right? And what about who's the mother? Who is a real mother? Who is a mother for real? The one that don't let nobody touch the baby. That's a good mother, If you go and start talking on the phone and you don't see who touched the crib, who get into by the crib, you tell your neighbors you're gonna be back. You let your mother, your grandmother, which are always self-obsessed on social media, twerking. Might as well give it to the crackers. Give the baby to the crackers. For real. We are seeing, things, but this is nothing new. All this white indignation, as if they actually just found out, because they've been knowing about. And they say it's the only. It's crazy how all these atrocities that are, for instance, in Rumble, which, by the way, thank you to whoever is sharing. I know they're having a joke on me, whatever, But listen, if something if something get through, you know, because I really believe that Aleister Crowley should be addressed for what he was. You know, a monster. A monster. I uploaded another video and I do just a random search Aleister Crowley and I find the most disturbing things. You know that, oh, you know, he was tormented. Now I found a poem, you know, a gay poem, you know, broken-hearted, and I didn't even read the whole thing. I cannot read that. I put it copy and paste. I put the whole thing. But it's good to put the description box, because that's amazing that Rumble don't censor the length. You know, like YouTube is 5,000 characters. So, and that's a good way for me to archive shit. You know, when I have time, I can read it again. This is shit you gotta read many times. But there's no innocent whites. You know, there's not. Come on, you tell me you don't know your own people? I am Mexican. You know, I mean, you can tell me some shit probably, you know, but not that much. And for whites, everything is like, oh, we didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't know. You know, and these are the same whites that worship. Oops. Apologies. Oops again. You know, who worship, you know, the Scots. They say because they did all the bull work. They did most of the bull work. You know, slaughtering, you know, natives. You know, I mean, anyway, but I guess we gotta start somewhere. Drying the swamp. And by the way, I guess you know, some of the pictures with Trump are also, you know, with children, with little girls. I guess that's deep fake too, right? That's all fake. I don't know. But it's just so sad that people are like, a lot of people really going for the lesser evil. And that's messed up. Well, I got to New York City in 1992. And I was very Eurocentric. I was in the middle of the Matrix. Eating it up. You know? Sometimes even like reading Page 6. You know, reading, you know, the tabloids that because, you know, I was a waitress and they would leave the newspaper and I will go to the gossips and as if all the gossip, it's a lie. A lot of it is. But it's so shameless, you know, how he self-promoted himself. You know, I mean, anyway. I mean, we all knew that he would do anything for fame and fortune, because he learned that being in the tabloids all the time, you know, he can just go on the other side of the world, and it's like, oh, I'm famous. I heard that some Arabs are going to be buying the restaurant and some nightclub at Madison Square Garden. Really cool. I don't know. I guess it's money laundering. I don't know what they're going to buy that shit. That's destined to. But I mean, Trump was good for the hype. He fooled millions of people. A lot of people thought that he really had money. Anyway, I don't mean that I condone any of them. Any of the, like anti-constitutional. I mean, it's like, it's your own constitution and you don't even respect it. I mean, it's just stupid, They go to Mar-a-Lago and they haven't published the order, that allowed them to go in. And like, what's his name, Judge Napolitano said, they needed another court order to get in the safe. Who told them where to get in the safe? So it's like, that's just scary. Because if our next president is not even safe like that, can you imagine? Can you imagine our poor African American brothers? And like, you gotta look at how shit is unraveling. You see, like, when you start seeing white privilege denied, then you go like, oh shit, the crackers are acting out again. Because we all know we come from, I was born in 1965. Sooner or later you learn that whites are always in the best lighting. They always go like, their motto used to be, where is the damn thing? Their motto used to be, don't ever let them see you sweat. And now we see them sweat. We even see them take a shit. I mean, like, we see, like, so they are running out of fucks to give. And that's when you go like, hey, cue me. You gotta say, cue me, what the fuck is going on? You guys are so damn thirsty that, you're willing to, to do the job for us, I mean, like, because, not for us, for Mother Nature. Because Mother Nature always corrects itself. So evil albinoids, they're bound to one day, just, that's God's law. There's been, some shit happening, I guess, throughout history. And it corrects itself. That used to happen with homosexuality, right? It used to just take care of itself by itself,
This ain't George, right, man?
From nature. I'm sorry?
This ain't George. You got sugar in it.
Sugar? I have no idea what that is. That was there when I arrived. I don't have my glasses. I thought it was like, I wanted to give
you. How you feeling?
Very good. And yourself? Can I give you these ones? Thank you. Oh, can you believe it's cold again?
Yeah, right?
It's crazy.
It was so nice.
I don't know what they want to do.
I think they want us to get sick.
Right. That's
You
exactly.
know, Thursday supposed to be again 87
80
degrees.
something.
Because it is stressful for your body, you know, to go up
Down.
85,
Your body don't
now
understand.
45.
Yeah. Body don't
I'm
understand.
freezing.
I know. Me too.
Now they say it's gonna get a little warmer.
Hopefully.
Waiting.
I hope it does.
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's it. You got it?
Yeah.
What?
Thank you.
No
Have a great
problem.
day.
You too. Have a lovely day. You smell so good, by the way. And surprise. That's a surprise. You gotta congratulate. There's some that they don't even shower. So sanitation sensation. These sanitation sensation. You know, like wow. It's good, you know. No matter what you're doing, you're still a woman. You know, don't let them take that away from you. You know. Oh my God, the damn hormones are getting, you know. But it is nice, you know. Compared like like the ratchet I just encountered. You know, like. You know, I told the guy, it's so damn early to be cursing out like that. It's just like, he just laughed, you know, like, and you never seen that rage against the slave master. Never. It's against Mexicans. You know, you see all these videos with these toilet train gorillas beating up our men. And, you know, but our men know that they have to take it. Because if they lay their hands, I mean, they think, you know, let's see how long that lasts. We just arrived in New York City, literally. I'm one of the few ones who've been here since 1992. And there was no Mexicans over here, you know. Good morning. I mean, no, good morning. That's another thing, you know, the morning, the Victorian morning. Good day, Mr. Handsome. He looked at me like, crazy bitch, leave me alone. I'm on a mission. Anyway, I got distracted. Where was I? I don't know, he distracted me. I don't know, there's something about our winged brothers and sisters that, oh, he's courting. I see there's another one, like doing the spring magic. Oh my God, he's so cute. She's like walking away 3 steps and he walked closer to her. Oh my God, now they saw me that I'm looking at them. He got shy. I want to show you, but do your thing. Don't let me. No, he's eating. And now she's like, what happened? Why he ain't following me? Anyway. It's always going to extremes, you know. Always, you know, I had a history class teacher in grade school. I don't know, I think it was 5th grade. And she said, like, you know, it's always a pendulum, you know, but she didn't say who make it a pendulum. But, you know, they got us, you know, going to one side, you know, and we go to the Weimar Republic, and then again we go to like whatever, you know, to a little bit slightly more wholesome, you know. I don't think we're going to, but it just you know, calling people out. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. I mean, it don't feel good when you don't know, when you're nobody. I mean, I was, mama's girl until I was 6 years old. And for me, it was a big shock when they took me to first grade, and anyway, I don't want to talk about what happened next. And what am I laughing? Anyway, so, and then I put, when, the 5th grade and the first grade, from private Jesuit school, somehow, they just put me in public school, which, I mean, I really like, kind of like didn't like the private school, I don't know. I don't remember much, but I just remember I didn't like it. And I don't know why I was saying that too. And then you see the guy, prancing around. There's the guy walking the basketball court. It's distracting to me. Anyway, oh my God, it's gone again. He's coming back. Oh yeah. What am I gonna say now? Oh, calling people out. Yeah, it was a shock for me, like always in the house. I mean, I say, my mom, she was really not around. This is why I'm anti-feminism. And I don't understand why. Because that shit is messed up, And if you think about it, all the shit that could have happened to you, while, my sister and myself was out, just left out in the house. Thank God we had these really nice ladies who helped around the house. And, there was not like, they could have been, bitch, I'm just here to work. I don't want to talk to you, whatever. They could have said that. But, I don't remember they ever saying that to me, It's sad. It is very sad, my mom right now is in her deathbed. And stupid me is over here like saying, hey, she might say something for me, before she died. My father died 2 years ago. I have not asked, if my father says something, like, tell Brooke I say goodbye, something, just feel nice from your parents, I don't understand, because I'm still mourning my kitty cats, I'm still mourning David. He was with me almost 15 years. He was, an amazing guy, and he got into my house when he was like a tiny little thing. So got the pictures and seeing with the damn cancer, damn Purina, I was like, oh, I'm just switching around, but I wanted to save money, and I was giving him Purina. Then I learned that, kind of like mysteriously, like 70-80% of the cats, they get either cancer of thyroid or the kidneys. I mean, if they're poisoning us, sometimes they have a little bit more compassion for four-legged people than for us. I have seen that. They got organic, whatever, la la, and like, damn, I want to be a bitch. They're eating better than me. shit. You know, like this coffee is waking me up because I was like a little bit heavy. I don't know. I think it's just pain. You know, pain make you heavy. You know. You know, that magnificent woman that used to be my mother, you know, that, you know, a Leo woman, pale as fuck. It's like a fucking ghost. Because my father is black, and of course he had to find the palest of the palest. You know, like, I was like, it's so ridiculous, you know. It's just like when you hate yourself, you know. People always watching us thinking that, you know, oh, he stole those babies. You know, I mean, like, it's a joke. I mean, I was watching some of the Obama's conspiracy, you know, things. You know, one said that, let me show you. One said that that his mother was born in Peru. It's like, how the fuck the mother is born in Peru? It's like, yeah, well, it's backwards, right? The camera is backwards. You won't be able to read it. But I'm gonna read it for you. I don't know. Some people have technology to adjust selfies. They're having an argument. The first fight. Okay, it's Obama's mother is the product of a fling between Hitler and the housekeeper in Argentina. That means Obama is Hitler's grandson. Angela Merkel, Chancellor of Germany, is Hitler's daughter and Obama's aunt. That's why they put her Angela. Angela is like one of Hitler's sisters or something. I don't know. I would not be putting in, you know, Stanley Ann Dunham, Soetoro, January 1972, passport picture. Yeah, she looked like, they look like trannies to me. I don't know. I do see that, unfortunately, you know, like, so I see a lot of, you know, I think Rumble should be a little bit more careful because there's a lot of misinformation also in Rumble. And, you know, but that's kind of what they want, you know. So all these tranny jokes, I mean, this is what they was preventing us from finding out. And we just beat the, how you say that? The bait, the whatever. We just took the bait. Yeah, I mean, this one is for sure. I mean, I did see that his grandfather, oh God, the letter is so small. Let me see if I have another meme over here. Well, this one is throwing like 20 conspiracy. This meme, you know. And by the way, nobody knew him at Columbia University. Nobody knew Obama. Oh my God, this is like so many lies and deception, you know. One of the ones that really, I mean, he was born in 1962. He's 3 years older than me. And bitch is still like size 2. That's not gay, right? That shit is not gay. He's like gonna be 60. No, he's 4 years older than me. 61? No, it was like 1960. I don't know what year they say he was born. But he's older than me. And well, we know black don't crack, but you still size 2, girl. Like that's why, you know, the conspiracy thing with Michelle. I mean, they make some really, I mean, like, stupid videos on Michelle Obama, you know, like, I mean, and you got to say, what's the point? What is the point? I mean, okay, you want views. By the way, I don't know how much Rumble pay, monetize the videos. I don't know. Maybe it's a good money. I don't know. But come on. If she is, or she might be intersex or whatever, or she might be just a bitch. There's a lot of weird bitches that they want to be called Michael. They want to be, Nicole. They want to be Nick. They want to be called Nick. Because they think it's cute or whatever. They want to be man. They want to be man so bad, they also, put a strap on and they do their husband or whatever. Ew. That is so. But when you think about it, the worst it gets. According to the studies they've been making for years, that is not for you. That's for the birds. There go the squirrel eating starch again. Anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah. When the more insecure a woman feel, I guess they're talking about a normal woman. The more she trying to, kind of like, I imagine it's kind of like when the so-called animals, they are like mating. And we see some of them, they blew up, and they blow up and they put like amazing colors, right, to attract, supposedly that's what they told us. I don't know if it's true. Supposedly to attract the female. That's what the gays do too. The gays do too. And they say, oh, that shit is about gender. That's not about gender. And that is a problem with homosexuality because, look, they've been talking about that, putting on their profile, masculine bottom. It's kind of like saying, like the jabba jabba do. That is not because like in that case, we know vaccines are synonymous with inoculation for a lifetime. So that is not. By definition, it is not. And where is he coming to? Oh yeah. By definition, if you don't get immunity, you don't. And how many infectologists and stuff like that, they say there's no, if it's like flu and stuff like that, there cannot be a vaccine, and they explain to you why, because it's mutating, whatever, So why so the obsession to call it a vaccine? Why the obsession to just redefine everything? I get it. There's some shit that it have to be updated and whatever, but not the concept of vaccine, inoculation. But we allow them, Well, I guess, back then there was not that confrontational because, they was calling it a flu shot. Want to get your flu shot, the flu shot, So we was not, I was thinking the other day, so we was not confronted with this, like, F it. We are going to be like, just changing the meaning. Right? Because there's, they already have the parameters, the protocol for the grams, to give you grams if you're jabbing. But what you have to start from the beginning, right? If you make up a new concept, like they say that they call it shots. So I guess they have to, you know, apply, you know, like the whole thing, and they're lazy like that. I guess they will do it eventually. They will do it. It's like, you know, so they can get double grants. We get grants for vaccines and for shots and for whatever we can come up with. So so that is being redefined, and we allow that. We allow that instead of saying, no, just don't call it that. Don't call it that, you know, don't call it marriage, right? We say don't call it marriage because the number one purpose of marriage is procreation, you know. So eternity, you know, for the whole planet. That's the definition of eternity. Not the bullshit of the Holy Ghost, the Holy Father and the Holy Son. No. It's the, well, what you the whites call it, they call them Osiris, Isis, and Horus. You know, but the real name, that's not their name anyway. I'm not gonna tell you, you can look it up. That is the Holy Trinity. And that is the definition of eternity. Because we knew, my ancestors knew who they were and who was coming up. That's why everything was consulted. You know, especially if you was having sex, you was making love, whatever, you know, for procreation. You wanted to do, you know, you consult the astrological, you know, because that's who we are. We are stardust, right? So see what is the best time and who you want to bring back. All that stuff was already, you know, numerology, which is a science, exact science. I mean, like, it's crazy. You know, I've seen, you know, I have never gotten one myself, but I mean, like, everybody who have gotten them, they go like, you know, jaw dropping, because they didn't think they was gonna, like, know just from somebody's birthday or from somebody's letters in their name. And they can tell a lot of shit about you, what's gonna happen to you most likely, and what areas, you know, what is like it is. And but you know, right now all this stuff is lost in many parts of the planet, and that's what we have to be. You know, we know the problem is that they don't have a pineal gland. You know, their pineal gland, it's not functioning, and it's all dried up. You know, from being in the last ice age. So yeah, that's why, you know, sometimes I have to remind myself that don't waste your time. Don't waste your time, because people who don't have a functional pineal gland, they're gonna say yes, of course, you know, yeah, whatever, yeah, this is it, this is that. You know, but without it, it's just all you're left is with material shit, you know, like that's what all they care about, you know. I always tell, you know, people, like, you know, don't waste your time. Just tell them the bottom line, because they might not dare to say it at first, but sooner or later it will come out. I'm gonna say, what's the bottom line? So you want me to join whatever? How much money I'm gonna be making for myself? Clear. You tell them, yeah, well, you're gonna be clearing $2 million for yourself. Well, okay, I'm in, whatever. So don't waste your time. Tell them what the project is gonna do, what the project's gonna be. They're psychopaths. They're psychopaths, you know. I mean, like, just look around all over the planet. It's a train wreck since I can remember. We're like, whoop, you know. Everything is getting worse and worse. We didn't know. who was behind it. You're not gonna say, "Oh no, it's not us. It's our corporations." You know, it's the same shit. It is the same shit. You unleash the corporations on the planet, on humanity, so you can hide behind all that. Let's see. They keep calling from this number. Why don't they text? Hey, it's me from blah 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 blah. Okay. Sometimes they do it, and it's a hoax. Anyway, yeah, that's another red flag. You know, spam. You know, other people tell me, you know, spam is just unbelievable. And that shit was under control, and now it's like, I mean, people who actually pay a lot of money for the cell phone, they tell me they get all these calls and texts, you know, trying to get them. Anyway, let me put this over here. So, I mean, these are facts. These are facts. I mean, like, I'm not like being mean or whatever, you know. It will save us, save people a lot of time, you know, once you understand, you know, and it's sad, you know, it is sad, you know, because we are all just paralyzed, you know. They say fight or flight, flight, or play dead, and everybody's playing dead. Well, not everybody. Not everybody. There's still a couple of men, you know. I was surprised that old fart, Lula da Silva, you know, he went. let's see how many days his life got, Lula da Silva. Let's see if he's not gonna be, you know, like, you know, we killed President Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. This weird ass cancer. Nestor Kirchner in Argentina, that was the same damn cancer. Isn't that crazy? I mean, like, we got like, and actually the vice president of the PSUV, the largest political party in Venezuela, Diosdado Cabello, he was saying that, you know, he revealed like a couple of years later that, you know, he was out over there and he's, I mean, like, whatever, he was in the car, something, a lot of people came in, and his hand immediately started to like, whoa, this is like, what the fuck is this? So they took him to the ER, whatever. He was able to be saved. but these Neanderthals, I mean, they are ratchet as fuck. You know, ordering that, and there's a lot of writings, you know, it's out there on how they tried to kill him. You know, Fidel Castro, he used to count them. I think counted more than 1,000 assassination attempts. Just because. Oh no. How dare him say no? And I'm not like, you know, I mean, a cracker is a cracker. I mean, you know, at least he had the decency to live in the Constitution. He did not want nothing named after him. That speaks of his character. That was a man. You know, somehow, at least a little bit, he understood that his privilege, you know, you know, put him in that position. Not only, you know, I think he was a Leo too, wasn't he? This is why, oh my God, Obama cannot come back because he's a Leo. Oh my God, he will charm everybody. You know, same as Bill Clinton. And I said it, you know, this bastard is a Leo when he was coming out. I mean, I'm telling you, my mom is a Leo. She's like, she will charm anybody. Charismatic motherfuckers, like, you wouldn't believe. I mean, people don't believe sometimes in shit, but, you know, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, yes, he had a whole, he had Netflix. The Obamas got Netflix. But yeah. So now I gotta like really look at everybody like when the all these like tranny jokes and shit, which I mean are fun. I mean are fun. I mean I'm not gonna say I don't laugh, at Michelle Obama jokes, like they're funny. They're funny, but I mean you gotta question because on Rumble, tons of videos like that, and they are like, come on, just fake. Fake. Yes, it's true. There's no pictures of her pregnant, But how many bitches? Come on, Becky. Becky don't get pregnant. We know that. She gets surrogate because the bitch is falling apart. Always on a skinny diet. Always, not eating like, like their obsession with the trannies or something. I don't know. They want to look like, man. I don't know. Just they're weird as fuck. They're weird as fuck. And their men, what they say about the men, I mean, if you like that, this is also a big part of the rise of homosexualities, the homosexuality, because shit, men see that, see their wife, and it's like, skull and bones. Pun intended. And let's say, what's the difference? Get a faggot instead, same shit. Actually, there's some that they got more meat in them. I'm telling you, they're still doing that shit, I mean, they've been doing that. One time, I had a friend of mine that she liked, she wanted to be a designer for a while and like say, oh, let's go see the Christian Dior expo at the Met. We went there. I was like, the fuck is that? I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's the same dresses those bitches used to wear. I mean, like, I'm telling you, the waist like this. I was like, so they've been doing that, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like self-mutilation, like a starvation, how like, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I used to think like, oh my God, that bitch is skinny. You go see those dresses. The Christian Dior. I think it was Christian or some bullshit like that. Oh my God, they're going to the middle of the park. A pickup truck and a machine in the back. Now it's a traffic jam. There's like 3 trucks right there. I'm telling you, the people, we cannot have nothing without getting cars. So, oops. It is a sickness. It is a sickness for me. I even lived it when I was Eurocentrist. I almost died. I wanted to be Victoria Beckham. No, I was crazy as fuck. I wasn't eating. Like, this is like, that's how crazy I was. So I can tell you, I come from the whole. I think I went like full circuit. I started with the faggots because, I just didn't know. I mean, like, I've been, I see, clowns and shit, So I never put on a dress, never in my life. I thought that shit was sacred, how like, you want to be like, and I found them grotesque. I really did not really found them, these broken, mentally castrated individuals. I remember, my first city was Chicago. I got there in 1989. And somebody took me to Berlin. That was the name of the club. I think it's still there on Belmont. Oh my God. On Sunday nights, they had one guy, actually was, his name was Crystal Balls. I was like, it's, yeah, it is satanic. Come on. I mean, a man, just relinquishing his power for laughs, and I've seen crazy things in my life. Chicago was crazy. When I arrived, Chicago was like, woo. That's why I got lost. And yeah, but my relatives are over there, so I said, like, I gotta get away from from these crazies. But now they're all dead. They're all dead. I mean, like, now my mom was like, come on, like, I'm next. I mean, in a long time. My mom is 75. Don't get excited. But yeah, it is something. And and in my days, it was like homosexuality was like, for people like myself, that was, just naturally feminine. I was like, always from day one, I mean, and they tried it. As a matter of fact, I have no memory until I was 6 years old, and I was in that private school crying. That's all I remember. That they put me out in the patio, and I was just crying. I was like, I don't want to be here, because I never left my house. I was 6 years old. So yeah, but then, like I say, my mom wasn't really. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there, but yeah, I mean, it was like that, I mean, it was in school. There was, these clowns. We all laughed because it was like so outrageous and whatever. And kind of like you see, like, well, I don't know, it's like really, it's kind of like nature shit, but now if you get on that application, Grindr, it's called it's written like a meat grinder. It's called like a meat grinder. It's grind and then the letter R. Oh my God. I go like, I mean, I'm sometimes so bored, and so like, I don't play video games. I don't, and they have a GPS, so you see who's in the neighborhood and stuff like that. I mean, I have a little hustle, but I used to. But so, I mean, I got in there because of my cats. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Anyway, I spoke too much. But you see this. I know it's probably just looks, right? It's probably just looks. No, but some of them, I know them in person. I mean, like 6'5", full beard. I never really grew no hair. I'm Mexican, so I mean, like, I'm telling you that there's some shit that it's kind of easier, to fall into that lifestyle, then. But you see tons of guys, not a single feminine trait. Not a single feminine trait. And that's not the worst part. I mean, just being in the app, just being in that app. Let me see if I can. I think you don't let me because Medicaid block it. Medicaid block it. I cannot see it from the Obama phone. Yes, I'm a welfare queen, so get them tongues wagging. You know. Oh, actually, my MP3, my iPod. It's such a shame they discontinue iPods. Yeah, I'm talking about iPod, not the pads. I know. I hate this language. Somebody said something. I can go through here. I mean, I'm gonna show you. Like, since I'm like, you know, I'm on this one. You're gonna see. There's not a single feminine trait. And like I was just telling you, in order for, you know, I mean, how am I gonna put it? If you want to have the best experience, if you want to have, like, you know, you got to submit as a woman, and that is the problem. That is the problem, because then they're taking their pictures and they go like, oh my god, oh. Oh, and they want to show their ass, skull and bones. I mean, call it scrawny. No, it's not scrawny. It's the next one. No, the next one. I mean, and still, that is not the worst part, right? The worst part is that sometimes they put their face and they say, "I just want to suck." And they open their mouth, and then you see all these guys. I'm telling you, they look manly as fuck, and they put the picture just from here down, and they got lip gloss, and they say, you know, some of them. I mean, those are the best ones compared to the other ones, because at least they are not saying it, but that's a code word. Or, you know, also I have noticed that they put, you know, one, because they can put up to 5 pictures or something. So they go, one of the pictures is like, you know, I'm talking about like grown ass man, 30 something, 40 something. I mean, like hunkosaurus, whatever you say that. I mean, and they go like a little. You gotta submit, and they know it. They got to submit. If you wanna get dick, you got to submit, and that is sad. That is sad. And then the old ones. Oh my god. Look at this one. I mean, at least he's not saying it. You know, I mean, like. You have to say it. I mean, you're already here. I mean, like, we know. I mean, in my days, there was not that many. You know, they call themselves bottoms. They're receptive, and now they're all bottoms. I mean, I'm not lying to you. I guess, you know, the later it gets, the more, you know, they're like desperate they get. They get so damn thirsty, you wouldn't even believe. Yeah, they're restricting a lot because they want you to buy a membership. Yeah, it don't even give me nothing. I'm like, let me see if anyway, I couldn't find one today. You know, they're well behaved, you know. But they put, you know, in capital letters, you know, I want to get F up the A. I mean, it's just totally like, and then they say they are 18 because, oh, they removed that filter. Now you get to see all ages. And I got a question why. Why it was like you used to be able to say you want to see ages from 35 to 45, whatever. No, now you get to see 18-year-olds already selling crystal meth, already like saying I want Richard so bad, with their mouth open, their tongue sticking out, like you're watching Pornhub. They're men. I'm telling there's some of them that they're like, wow, somehow they're not even taking hormones. They got tits, they got ass. They're hairy as fuck. Oh, remember when they used to say, that's a hairy situation. That's like, oh. And 95% like the ones that, sometimes, I just for like, okay, let me go. I'm scared, because like I say, you can put 5 pictures. Sometimes the first picture, the second picture, no problem. Dignified man, third picture, fourth picture, pigtails, bent over. And written, I want dick. Like, and you're afraid your mother, anybody can access. I'm telling you, you can download the application. You're gonna see your damn neighbors. This is not like, oh my God, I've seen guys from Brooklyn, whatever, the Bronx. No, this is local. From high school, from grade school. I don't know. I guess grade school they cannot be there, right? Supposedly, I don't know. There's so many profiles that don't have a picture. It's only blank. Who is on the other side? I don't know. I block them. If they're close to me, I block them. I don't want to be some psycho motherfucker around me and And some of them, they write me, oh, I see you in the streets. You're so pretty. And whatever. Oh, okay. Now, I'm not that useless yet. So I was telling you, oh my God, I'm getting so distracted by these guys. The red definition. This application, I just show you. It's all about that. It's all about that because you have so many profiles that they put they are bisexual. They put bi. They have hashtags. They have like whatever. Yeah, it's like hashtags but without the number sign. I don't know. And you can pick and choose. Oh, they call it tribes. They call it tribes. You can choose as many tribes. They have the bears. Ugh. The bears is like a jellyfish with a lot of hair in it. Ugh. Oh. It's like turning a lesbian. They're like, Jabba the Hutt. That's what they are. But they tell themselves, oh, they're so hot. It's a bear. It's a bear. Absolutely no muscle. It's just flat. It's like, it's like, the line is blurred, lesbian or a bear, whatever, same shit. Oh, and they have the trans masculines. That's another one. Yeah, they got a lot of hair, whatever, but masculine, because they actually in their twisted head, somehow they think, masculinity, virility, it's a costume. It's like a masquerade or something, And some of them they do it like, to a T, Sometimes you got some of the pictures, like I say, they put 5 pictures and they're like, damn, it look like a man. It looking like a man. It looking like a man. It looking like a man. And you go to the third picture, fourth picture. So they put masculine bottom. And you go like, okay, so how you gonna be masculine taking dick from behind, with your legs behind your ears, and you're masculine. And we allow that. We allow them. Nobody dared to tell them, like, there's no such thing as masculine bottom. There's no such thing. And if there is, you're doing it all wrong. Because come on, either the dick is so tiny that you're just like, you're on your phone taking dick and like, you're looking at Instagram pictures. But, I was thinking like, damn, I watch porn. Not gay porn too. Oh. I'm telling you, I was trapped in that community for a while. So, because I was thinking like how the guys, they never make a sound. They never make a sound. They can be something this thick, oh Dios mío, coffee spill. Spill on aisle 6. Anyway, and they don't say a word. They don't say a word. I mean, of course, they are on crystal meth, and they do the poppers. They go snoring that shit all the time, which gives cancer. I put it on Rumble. And there's so many articles. They say, oh no, if you abuse it, but it's not bad. Amyl nitrate. It destroys the immune system, and it just start messing up with the lungs, because it goes to the lungs. I put it over there. I put a little bit clip of a documentary where they talk about it's called about, I put it, poppers to get fucked up the ass. And you gotta wonder how many people have gotten, HIV with that shit. If you go like, malnutrition too, because you want to be thin, that shit happened to me. So you want me to be nice about something? They put something, like for real. It is kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like a weird thing. Everything goes around, and it's a muscle relaxer. It's like kind of alcohol, and that's a side that they don't tell you. First they get hammered, happy hour, and then on top of that they gotta be snoring amyl nitrate to take dick. I say, obviously you are not gay if you gotta do all that stuff in order to take dick. I question that, why, how much you gotta say, like, it's like some, like a frigid bitch, you gotta, smoke very strong bud, have like at least 10 cocktails, very strong cocktails, and whatever. So that's how, what the fuck is that? And a lot of them, that's how they catch them. There has been rappers, I don't remember hip hop people, they have said, and I have it in one of my channels. I don't know, I wanna, it's like you should put it like every day, and they should tell the children, do not smoke bud with other boys or men, never. And there's like 2 guys that they came out and they said it, what do you think is gonna happen? You're smoking loud shit, you are together, you are on the rooftop, you're like whatever, that should get you horny. That's why the crackers, they made it illegal, because they don't want pigmentation. They feel so threatened by melanin. Like, oh no, we don't. Oh, as a matter of fact, I don't know if I uploaded it yet. No, it's not uploaded yet. I'm in the process of editing. YouTube take forever to edit my shit. Oh, here it is. Let me put it in a, well, later. I got distracted again. It's a whole thing on melanin, because I have a video. I put it like, say we are harvesting melanin, and it tell you right there how they're getting our African brothers and sisters, and how they they have a whole process to extract all the carbon from the skin of African Americans. It's like it's horrific. I mean, I should buy it later on anyway. But I'm on this now. So yes, I am bitter because of that. So if you telling me like, oh, you're homophobic, you are like whatever, why shouldn't I be? Why shouldn't I be? When these faggots are always talking shit against, especially, sex change, transsexual, post-op, and even the ones that with the dick, which they purposely egg them on so they don't get surgery, because they are the ones who help them get heterosexual men. Cardi B said it. Cardi B confessed. She said it on social media. She says, I think it was on Twitter. She said like, oh, we used to, drug men, and then I used to get these whatevers and rape them. R-E-P, them, and she's not in jail. I mean, like, come on, you get a self-confession. What else you want? Oh, because it's men. Yeah, men don't have gender, right? Men don't matter. There's so many boys dropping out of school and nobody even care. Oh, but a girl, oh, the precious girls, like, everywhere in the bus, in the train, in the street, you see like, join this program, this university, scholarship, and they put a girl, they put women on it. It's shameless now. It is shameless. They don't give a damn. They know, like, and little boys, they grow up to say, well, I'll be working in a body shop. I'll be like, whatever, working in the sewer system. All the most dangerous jobs, right? Like I say, it's about privilege, not equality. So I'm losing my train of thought where I was with that. So it is, I mean, I'm really hoping that I'm wrong. I'm really hoping that, but I see that, well, I'm in New York City. I think this is like one of the cities that promote that. And I think that's also why it's attracting. But a lot of them, they are made in New York City. A lot of them, they're made in New York City too, So whatever the case might be, I mean, if you get in that application, you're gonna see like, unbelievable. And I tried to switch all the filters that, I mean, we don't have unless you have a paying subscription, you cannot. With the iPod, with Apple, you get more filters than with Android. With Android, I think you can choose less, but just look at by age. No, but you cannot look by age no more. I used to look by age, and like they used to find these 18-year-olds. Like we were like, what the hell? I mean, like blue and pink hair together. Or like, what school they go to? I mean, they let them go like that. The other day I was in the Bronx and I saw these girls coming out of the community college over there on 181st Street and University with sweatpants and Crocs. I was like, wow, they're allowed to go like that? And like, it's crazy. It is crazy, how like I mean, not even for school. I mean, like, you don't wear something fancy or whatever, but sweatpants and Crocs with socks. I don't know. So, like I say, I hope I'm really wrong. That I don't know what are the numbers now. I don't hear nothing about the numbers, and of course they're gonna say, "Oh, it's just because." Homosexuality, it's not persecuted as much and people are being themselves. Like, really? Really? Like they say in the documentaries, really, really, don't watch them at night, the documentaries, they know. If they say, doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, they say, if a child gets, before 8 or something, they get split personality. They start like having split personality, and they start like. So my theory always been, how I was recruited so easily. I thought I was recruited easily, and I was already almost 24 years old when I had my first sexual encounter, and yes, it was with a dude. I mean, there was a couple of ladies in the house who tried it. I don't know. I just remember I was confused because I was very little, But anyway, no, one had a really bad smell. I think that's another thing. That's another thing why they should not touch children, right? Because it's just impressionable age, and you go like, Anyway. Whew. I'm like all the way. I'm like all the way, But I want to convey, I want to why I am the way I am. Why, I consider myself a veteran of war, living in the United States. And it's a miracle, I'm not in a wheelchair or like. So many people over here, younger than me, already with a walker or obese, or so many conditions. I don't know. It's just like, wow. Thank you, God. I thank God every day. And anyway, where was I? Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. I'm glad that I remember about this because it is because a lot of times it's like, oh, you like it's not like that. It is not. I mean, listen how they talk about melanin, and they say that they are. Why can I not find? Oh, here it is. They say that they are not harvesting. Like she said at one point that supposedly they are doing synthetic melanin. I know for a fact that is not true. They have not been. They have done some shit. Yes, it's true. Supposedly they have done some synthetic substances. Melanin is an intelligence. I want to tell you, and by you guys being obsessed with perpetuating white skin, just because it's tied to your white privilege, I mean, it's like a membership card that you cannot fake, right? And you see a lot of people like, I mean, you can fake it to a certain degree, but they kind of like, okay, so you honorary white, but they come to a point that you back off. You got to stay back up because this is only Neanderthal. You got to be pure Neanderthal space, Anyway, just I narrow it down to 33 minutes. I edit it on YouTube, and now it's ready. It's gonna be ready for today for Rumble. Let's get ready to rumble.
Vitamin D, which is on the left as the biological light sensor, and melatonin on the right is the biological dark
They know
sensor, and they
all
both have
about
their
it.
colors. In fact, I liken vitamin D to the brother and melatonin as the sister. It's like they're brother and sister, that they really do regulate our circadian rhythm, or at least connect us to light and the circadian effects of light. So if we look at the shared functions, and we wrote this paper for the Nutrients Journal, and I began to even think within my nutrition science mind that, well, perhaps vitamin D is, sharing these functions kind of in a,
I'm laughing because you see a ghost talking about melanin. I mean, like, are you serious? And yes. Whites have their melanin conferences and do not invite the original men, to this conference. It's all Neanderthals. This is rich. Talking about something that you got no effing idea. I mean, some of them, they have a little bit internal. You got to realize it's also an internal melanin. It's not just the outer melanin, like kind of like Beethoven, right? They say when he became deaf, kind of like his melanin got more activated, and they written songs about Beethoven's hair, and I mean, but anyway, they like to play that game that we don't know nothing about melanin. No, what is that? It's your obsession.
an inverse relationship way with melatonin, and perhaps melatonin is actually a nutrient that we need and that levels go down over time. But
perhaps the most important substance in the universe. Everything revolves around carbon, around melanin. Perhaps. Anyway, I mean, they're backwards, people. Backwards, I'm telling you. And their ego, then, anyway, whatever.
if we don't have them, much like vitamin D goes down over time, then we start to see implications in a wide array of different functions. So some of those shared functions, which people will see in the paper, and I have a table as well, is looking at, of course, the hormone action. We know that vitamin D is unique in that it's also a hormone. They're also potent antioxidants. In fact, one of the things that I learned in doing this research is that one molecule of melatonin can scavenge up to 10 different reactive oxygen species. And that's very different than some of the other antioxidants.
You heard that? Melatonin is a scavenger. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I mean, snake oil saleswomen.
Like vitamin C or vitamin E. And not only does melatonin scavenge a lot of free radicals, we see that the plant-based melatonin can scavenge even more. So there's something about the other constituents of the plant, of course, that are adding to that effect. Anti-inflammatory, immune modulating effects, all of these things really do go as part of that whole composite.
You indicated, in fact, you have several graphs in the paper, and people can look at that. Again, we're going to post a link to that, showing a variety of comparisons of the plant-based melatonin with the melatonin that we also, similar to what we would produce. And it looks like it's far more effective in terms of at least antioxidant activity and perhaps even its anti-inflammatory activity, indicating at one point that it has COX-2, but
86% greater activity as it relates to its anti-inflammatory potential, which is huge. So I do think that, one of the reasons for phytomelatonin outperforming synthetic melatonin is because of all of the different agents that it contains. Not only does it contain the bioidentical melatonin, but it also contains the beta-carotene, the chlorophyll, even lutein and zeaxanthin, which can help to be protective for that artificial blue light in the retina. So I do think, one of the things that came out for me when I was doing this paper was I had no idea that most of the melatonin on the market is synthetic. So about 99%.
I don't have a doctorate like she do. And I've been knowing this shit, okay?
And we did do some data crunching in terms of looking at the number of products, how many of them were phytomelatonin, and it's not very common that you find phytomelatonin in supplement form. And even some of the phytomelatonins that are out there can be chemically synthesized. Maybe they start from a plant, but then there is incurred in the chemical processing other types of substances. So I had no idea. I teach environmental health for the Institute for Functional Medicine. We just got off of the module talking about toxicants. But the idea that you could have up to 13 different adulterants in synthetic melatonin, to me, was very concerning. And one of those adulterants is serotonin.
Concerning, but probably.
Listen, darling, everything that God make, it's 1,000,000 times better than what you guys will ever come up with. So please, can we stop the bullshit?
People might think about the fact.
Cellular organelle. The one organelle that contains the most amount of melatonin is the mitochondria. And I do think it has to do with the amount of oxidative stress that the mitochondria is undergoing. So it's constantly experiencing a lot of output through metabolism, creating these oxidative bursts. And so the melatonin is that yin quieting, quelling. It's absorbing a lot of those reactive oxygen species. So, and that's why, melatonin works very well with vitamin D, if you think about it, because throughout the life cycle, we actually decline in our vitamin D levels. We decline in our immune health. We decline in our inflammatory.
Melatonin work really well with vitamin D. She even know what she's saying? Melatonin is melanin, it is a different, structure, molecular structure. But anyway, so she said that she's seen synthetic melatonin. I don't know what that is, but I don't know, because I know that they're putting real melanin in all their products. And like I say, if you watch the video, just scroll down on Rumble, my channel. It's the channel, it's not mine. Okay, I ain't got shit. Just like YouTube, stole so many channels, steals so much shit. So let me say my channel. Anyway, you're gonna see, how we are harvesting melanin. Just like we are harvesting the organs of African people. It's just horrible. It is very, very horrible. It's just like I don't know what I would do if I was Caucasian. I don't know, to come from that, because my people in Mexico, we will never think. If I go talk to anybody, hey, what can we do, to improve mangoes or plátanos, whatever. People gonna look at me like, what? You're gonna compete with God? You just imagine just how twisted you gotta be to touch shit that God created, one way or another, whether it was whatever, advanced, evolved humans, whatever. But whatever the case, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with none of our the creation. There's nothing wrong. And we have seen time and time again, and they even have documentaries themselves. You know how they, I mean, they sometimes they do have admitted, you know, that, you know, like, hey, you know, we thought that we was gonna solve a problem by introducing these species into this ecosystem, and 10 years later they see how that little thing they introduced kill 200 species. You know, because that's the, I say, the soberbia, we call it in my country, soberbia. It is, what is that soberbia? It's, I don't know, I say soberbia. It's just the ego. It's just the ego that you think you dare to touch what's, you know, even our damn coffee. Coffee did not need any improvement. Yeah, but you know, we wanted to have a longer shelf life. Why we need longer shelf life? When we used to, when you used to, like, you know, I mean, whatever, used to sell. I don't know. Why is not selling no more? Because people don't have money to buy it? I don't know. And stay, I don't know. They give all these stupid excuses. You know, I remember very well, like I said, I was born in 1965, you know. You know, at least more than half of my life, you know, in Mexico, it's like you buy a banana in 3 days, it was like honey. It was this color outside, and it was like, ay Dios, Becky, shut up, Becky. And you know, that was it. We never thought, it's like, you know, oh, you eat it, you know, and then we found out supposedly that it got a lot of properties too when it's all, you know, like jelly, like honey, like, I don't know. It tastes good too, you know. Especially if you make smoothies and stuff, you know. The avocados, that was it. You slice the avocado, immediately the oxidation started, and it was this color. It was this color. You know, they say sometimes, you know, leave the pits. It will help, you know, or put a little bit of milk, whatever. I mean, it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me, like, you know, and then you know, whatever, you know, if it would stay there, all you gotta do is just mix it up. And it was good. It was good. We did not need these avocados that never go bad. I have had avocados like, oh my God, this shit is like 3-4 weeks, you know, and God knows how long was in their stores, because by the time I get them at Aldi's, I don't know if Aldi's get it straight away, or they get like whatever they wasn't able to sell. I don't know. But you know, that shit is not good, and it freaked me out. You know, I want to buy shit that it's in 24 hours is gonna be useless. You know, because that's just the way it is. You know, and if you're gonna tamper with it, you know, just like, you know, I just don't trust it. I don't trust it, you know, these foods, like, you know, some even things that they sell, like fast food, they never go bad. Never.
It's like we're not able to clean those up fast enough. And we know of that, the inflammaging that occurs just through the life cycle. So I do think that we have to think about replenishing melatonin and being a bit more proactive with it as we move into those later years.
Let me just open this up a little bit more for our viewers, just to get their arms around where we're going with this. And that is that, you know, one of the central ideas on aging is that our mitochondria, our energy-producing organelles within every cell of almost every cell in the body, not the erythrocytes for now, but that they undergo progressive decline in function, making less energy. And why that matters is obviously from the energy perspective, or utilizing less energy, but also when mitochondria are less efficient at utilizing energy, it can activate a program within them that signals them to commit suicide that we call.
They're obsessed with aging. And you think about all their movies and their series about, getting ageless and stuff,
apoptosis. So these changes in energy levels can ultimately lead to mitochondria, leading to the cell actually activate a program within them that signals them to commit suicide that we call apoptosis. So these changes in energy levels can ultimately lead to mitochondria, leading to the cell actually dying. We said that in the brain. We call this activation of caspase enzymes, and ultimately the cell dies. And certainly you don't want to lose brain cells. But that's it. So we become really kind of involved in the importance of mitochondrial function as it relates to tissue degeneration and overall body aging. And we know that things like...
That's all they care about. My father told me that, because we used to have an apothecary, he used to sell cigarettes for coughing. One time he told me, yeah, you say we used to sell them. That was good. Like, damn, cigarettes for the cough. And so many things. I think you can write encyclopedias, from all the rectifications, because sometimes they do have to rectify. They have to rectify. Oh no, that shit is not good for health. Oh, that shit is like whatever. And there's no consequences. Like, oh, we thought I was like, that's it. Mighty whitey.
Keeping the mitochondria functional, because the mitochondria are the furnaces where this fuel is being basically burned. We want to contain the free radicals, the oxidative stress that are the byproducts of this metabolism contained, in other words, quenched by having good antioxidant activity. Melatonin, surprisingly for all of us today, is a powerful antioxidant doing that job, and its decline with time might be a reason that mitochondrial function and safety and quenching of free radicals declines with time, which has been thought to be sort of one of the central tenets.
Oh my God, he don't stop talking. I have his guess right there, but I mean, that's another thing that we don't talk about, how all this food, which is rather another car, which is, there's like 5 cars already over there. It's a traffic jam. Anyway, I'm like losing my... Yeah, the Frankenfood. Frankenfood, that's what it is. How it is delivered to kill pigmentation. Because it's a well-known secret, how, black skin really makes Neanderthals very uncomfortable, and so that's how they started, like raping, women, and to create new races, right? They see like, oh, black and white, then you can make brown, right? And yeah, brown we can deal with. And if you look at manhood, they're doing the same thing. We can deal with these faggots right here because they're a joke. But viral, strong, alpha, man, original man. It's like, This is why, it was so shameless, with Bill Cosby. They had nothing on him. But they had to make sure, that they make him the poster child. It's not Aleister Crowley. It's not, the fat slug, small hat. What's his name? Frankenstein. Whatever. What was he, a producer? Whatever. Oprah's slave master. No, he's not. He's not the poster child for all those atrocities. It's Bill Cosby. Even R. Kelly. You see these people, these channels in Rumble. It's like, they got the nerve to always like mention like, oh, R. Kelly. They got these documentaries. R. Kelly. This is the most that they have on R. Kelly, and they show it. He made a video with Gaga where she's unconscious, and they are like whatever. It's like, and who directed the video? Who produced the video? Who whatever? It's like Neanderthals. Wait a minute, you that was the vision of R. Kelly? I mean, obviously, I don't know. It could have been that, hey, they wanted to negotiate with him and like, oh, you got to do this video. Like, but, I don't do that. Like they have Chappelle, the stand-up comedian, talking about, it's like, nope, you got to put on a dress. You got to put on a dress. It's like, but, you can do another way, like, that was his words. And it's interesting, they have the video over there in Rumble, and I don't know what channel I saw, how they was analyzing, and, Oprah just reading the teleprompter. She was like glued. I mean, he was talking and you can see her eyes like glued to the teleprompter, reading every word, what the slave master want her to do, let him talk, like whatever, So we're gonna come out, but like I say, not as an expose, but just to tell everybody, come on, don't waste your time. You wanna be rich, you wanna be famous, you gotta put on a dress. You gotta, put assless chaps. You gotta put like, those are the ones who stay always, in the spotlight. They're the guys that they're always like, self-deprecation, all that stuff, because they know that it's mostly children watching that shit, So it's a very influential age.
Dr. Perlmutter, is that even within the brain, so if we look at the lymphatic fluid, what we're now seeing that is coming out in the research is that maybe melatonin is responsible for being very active within the lymphatic fluid, removing that metabolic waste, really moving that through in a way that is cultivating much more in the way of metabolism at the level of the nighttime when it's very high. Perhaps that's one of its functions. Now, we don't know that for certain because right now what we see is that there's just more in the way of animal studies, but I feel like there's probably a connection there. A lot of our nighttime activities, whatever we're
They're studying it in animals. You want me to believe that? Why, anyway, there's evidence everywhere, how they use Africans for experiments, everything without anesthesia, because the crackers say that, oh no, they can take a lot of pain. They like pain.
doing at night may in fact be connected into the functions of melatonin.
Now, mitochondria are able in some way to induce melatonin production based, one would think, upon their need or their I won't say their desires, although I just said it. But mitochondria are actually able through various channels to actually enhance the production of melatonin. How does that work?
As far as, when it's almost like when the cell is undergoing a lot of oxidative stress, it can start to induce certain enzymes, these antioxidant defense enzymes, in order to enable the cell to better modulate the oxidative radicals that are coming about. So there can be this induction through the reactive oxygen species that the mitochondria are producing. So the body is trying to protect itself, it's trying to regenerate, it's trying to accommodate. Now, that can happen within a certain threshold, but if the mitochondria are overloaded, then we get into dysfunction. So that's why I think pulling in exogenous melatonin could be important for mitochondrial health and dysfunction long term. One of the things that I found of interest, and I was sharing some emails with Dr. Terry Walls, was that we see that melatonin is even being used in autoimmune conditions like multiple sclerosis. There's some exploration in that particular area. So that, again, speaks to me of, okay, if we're starting to look at the chronic conditions that tie into mitochondrial health.
I would stop it right there, honey. Is it real melatonin or is it the fake one that you got? What do you think? What do you think? If we are harvesting adrenochrome, if we're oh God, I can't
in things like
even
melatonin
think
might be
about
of benefit. So, we see that across the board.
Oh.
Reproductive health issues, gut concerns like IBS or even GERD. We're starting to see that melatonin can span many different body systems. And I think based on what we're talking about here, one of the common threads or the links might actually be the mitochondria.
Well, there's a lot of correlation here, isn't there? I mean, thank you, but I'm blaming you. Thank you, not her. But nonetheless, we'll back it up to
Been on the planet, so
and autoimmunity as well. I mean,
autoimmunity, absolutely.
Yeah, curiosity. I think it's great.
Well, and news. That was another reason why I wanted to write this review paper for
I love your
aging.
curiosity. I think it's great.
Well, and it won't stop. I'm continuing to look at melatonin and
the White Mutual Admiration Society. All their videos is like, you are the greatest of the great.
variety of different ways, especially cancer. Cancer is very intriguing to me, especially with the rates of cancer going up, toxic burden on the planet. So,
and autoimmunity as well. I mean,
autoimmunity, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
Well, MS, that whole, I think there's a huge opportunity. So what should the common person be thinking now?
Yeah, so if we think about hormones in general, so I liken melatonin, if we're just having the discussion about getting back to replenishment, thinking of things like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, thyroid hormone, where we have a depletion and we need to go back into replenishment. How do we get back our biological levels? And this is where the question of dose comes in. What is the actual physiological dose? So in the paper, we have as we were just talking about a little while ago, we have the curve showing the levels that we typically see associated with different age groups. And if we look at replenishing our levels, the amount of melatonin that we would need supplementally is actually quite modest. And some of this work comes from Dr. Richard Wortman and others at MIT. This is early research going back a bit, showing that a physiological dose of 0.3 milligrams actually outperformed a higher dose, a pharmacologic dose of 3 milligrams. So I don't think that more is necessarily better. I think it's about finding the sweet spot and personalizing the dose to the individual. Now, that's a physiological dose, 0.3 milligrams, as something to have to replenish the levels that we lose with age. Now, if there are certain instances, like somebody does shift work, or they have jet lag, or they have a certain profession where they're subject to a lot of dysfunction in their circadian rhythm, then that might need to be adjusted. But I think that for the most part, if we're just trying to fill the gap, looking at 0.3 milligrams. Now, one of the things that leads to some disruption or side effects, or when people say, oh, but I feel dizzy or groggy, or, I had vivid dreams when I took melatonin. If you look at melatonin and how it's processed through the body, what are the metabolism features of it? So it does go through phase 1 and phase 2, liver detoxification. And for some people, primarily for some of your viewers that are aware of the cytochrome systems, it does go primarily through cytochrome P450 1A2. So for some people who are fast metabolizers, they may actually be processing it quickly. So, and that's very similar to caffeine, where some people, like myself, I can drink a cup of coffee and have absolutely no effect from the caffeine. My body just metabolizes the caffeine quickly. So in the case of melatonin, there can be personalized kinetics of how somebody does process it through their body.
Is there a concern that you will induce that cytochrome P450 enzyme system by taking melatonin more and more and then become in a situation that you really need it?
I'm not sure. People do get concerned about endogenous production. There's no data to suggest that taking melatonin can change endogenous production. I do think that we might be changing receptor activity, much like we might be changing receptor activity with other exogenous hormones. So we might sensitize those receptors, we might saturate the receptors. So there may be some implications there that we might postulate just even from people's clinical experience. But if I look at Dr. Paolo Lissoni's work, and this was back in the 1990s, he used high-dose melatonin for his patients going through chemotherapy. And he did not find any kind of side effects related to even high doses. And we're talking about very modest doses. I'm talking less than 1 milligram. So I don't think that we create a dependence per se. I think that, again, your body is just primed to make melatonin. It's going to do whatever it can, all the different organs, all the different tissues. We're getting it in our foods in very small amounts. So I don't think that, in that particular way, we create any kind of a situation where we're going to need more and more. I think overall, it is something that our body needs. And so if we're low, yes, we're going to need to fill that gap in some way.
There were protocols that I had seen where 20 milligrams per day were being prescribed when a person was suffering from COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think the outcome studies demonstrated any efficacy, but that's a pretty large dosage. So the reason I bring it up is it does show up.
And where they got it from? Where are they getting this from? Like she admitted, synthetic, melatonin is shit. So, and you think, with all their money from slavery, from Jim Crow, from this millions of dollars they are making out of the prison industrial complex on Wall Street. You don't think that they're gonna be like, oh no, I got money to get the real shit. You know, give me a whole shot of the real thing. And you think they're gonna say, oh, where it's coming from? Was it ethically harvested? Of course not. There's no way to ethically harvest melanin or any of the whatever products, melatonin and everything. I mean, it's so crazy, like to say, hey, maybe we should not be promoting this whiteness. Maybe we should just just fade into blackness and just let go of this madness. No, never. They're obsessed with survival by any means necessary. And we have seen it. I mean, like, the proofs, abundant proofs all over the planet. What wouldn't they do to hold on to their hegemonic power, to white power? All this stuff that they're doing right now, it's just like they hate the East because yes, the people want to be white and stuff, but they are not. A lot of the people over there, they're really not willing to commit genocide for it, to preserve it. That, as far as as I know, I don't see as much as they say. They are the worst. Eastern Europe. This is the worst thing that happened. Or it's not even Europe. It's just like whatever. So the East is always against all that stuff. One of the things that they've been haunting me lately. How the first thing they say back in February 2022 is like, oh, the Federation want to take Ukraine's biolabs, for themselves. I'm like, for what? For what? You think Ukraine, which is one of the poorest countries, according to whatever, I don't know, definitely the poorest country in Europe, if you consider that Europe, I don't. But they are Eurocentric. I mean, everybody want to call themselves Europe because they think that's their life is going to improve. And it is just crazy, how, I mean, and people, they went along. They were saying it in all the media. They were saying it, hey, it is so horrible. We are so scared because the Federation, it's, what if they take control of those biochemical labs? Really, thinking people think about it, shit. I mean, the Russian Federation, they got everything like that, They wanted bioweapons, chemical weapons, whatever, You think oh, no, but, that's how they was able to allocate billions of dollars, supposedly to be sent to Ukraine, supposedly. Not a single journalist have, followed the money. Not a single one. Did it went to Ukraine, or did it went to Swiss banks? Did it went to, did it go to, Panama Papers? Anyway.
Melatonin can bind to the VDR, the vitamin D receptor.
Yes.
What that might tell us, if melatonin, which in many ways being the hormone of darkness versus vitamin D, the hormone of light exposure, what are we to imply then from the fact that melatonin can bind to the vitamin D receptor?
So it's encouraging this signal of vitamin D through the cell. And if they're working together, kind of the yin and the yang of circadian rhythm, then it might make sense that, again, melatonin is like this mother molecule to creating amplification of effects in the body. And again, back to where we started the conversation, melatonin is even able to do this within plants. It's a growth factor within plants. A little bit differently than in humans, working together, kind of the yin and the yang of circadian rhythm.
In the 21st century, and supposedly they're just figuring it out. Unbelievable.
Then it might make sense that, again, melatonin is like this mother molecule to creating amplification of effects in the body. And again, back to where we started the conversation, melatonin is even able to do this within plants. It's a growth factor within plants. A little bit differently than in humans and not always connected to the circadian rhythm. But I do think that what melatonin is doing is it's essentially creating greater amplification of vitamin D's, all the many effects, the pleiotropic effects of anti-inflammation, antioxidant, immune benefits. So I do think that both of them together are encouraging for us to be thinking about, especially in the later years.
Well, my mind was drifting, and I apologize because I was thinking about plant auxins.
So now that's what I'm going to say. My mind is drifting. Don't say it's a brain fart.
Land. So there's a lot of artificial light exposure. During the 90% of adults had
It's inhibited in its production by light. You talk about darkness deficiency, I think your term. And why is that something we should be paying attention to?
Well, if we think about the nighttime and the activities that people are doing at night, and I think that there was a study back in 2015 saying that 90% of adults had light at night, or what is referred to in an acronym as LAN. So there's a lot of artificial light exposure during the nighttime when we should actually be having more of the darkness and not trying to change our environment in such a way to keep us up late at night, to keep us on screens, to keep us on devices. And so what's happening as a result of this extra light at night of the blue light variety is that it's changing the signal to the retina, which is leading to reduced production of melatonin by the pineal gland. Again, the only way that we're able to make that pineal gland derived melatonin is in the darkness, and that's when we produce the most, is when it's most dark. So I would say that much like vitamin D has been associated with sunlight, and people say, oh, you just need to be out in the sun, you need more UV light exposure, even small amounts, certain amounts per day. I think we need to be thinking about melatonin in the same way that we need darkness. We need both of them. Both of those two together create the entire circadian rhythm balance. And I do think that we're going to see more.
How big of a deal is it in terms of the amount of melatonin? Let's say if an individual from 8 p.m. on is exposed to total darkness, X amount of melatonin, and then that individual, let's say, is up watching Ozark or whatever it may be, or on his or her computer. My wife's going to love it when she hears this because she's telling me not to. But anyway, what is the effect then? What you guess is the effect on your melatonin production, melatonin levels, because you didn't adhere. I didn't adhere to your advice. How much will melatonin levels be affected by that maneuver? So the question I'd like to ask you is, how much would a person's melatonin levels be affected if they were to compare going into total darkness at 8 p.m. and then waking up the next morning versus doing what a lot of people do, and that is watching TV on the computer at night prior to going to bed at 10 or 11 o'clock and having actually that blue light exposure? How dramatically does that affect melatonin levels?
Well, it's dramatic. You know, of course, it depends on the individual and the amount of sleep that they normally get, the amount of melatonin that they normally need in order to have that good, healthy night's sleep and circadian balance. But in general, most people are getting way too much in the way of that artificial light at night, close to bedtime. So there's no lag between having the darkness, having kind of this easing into bed. Some people are even taking their phones into their bed. And so there isn't this gentle progression of creating more melatonin in order, again, to help with healthy sleep. And I think that's what we need to look at, especially with children. You know, children produce the most amount of melatonin if we look again at the life cycle. But yet, you know, I see that there's some awareness around taking melatonin supplements, having kids take these gummies. But I do think what we need to be doing is having less in the way of that light stimulation from television, computers, kids on devices. But I do think it's dramatic. And over time, you know, we start to see that we start chipping away at that level of melatonin that we need for good, healthy sleep. So it's something that we have to do.
I think this regulation of the regulation of our circadian rhythm is so incredibly important. Dr. Satchin-Panda has made it so clear that whether we're talking about something as maybe straightforward as weight loss, which seems to be the goal of everybody, but even more important, considerations like immune regulation as it relates to day-to-day immunity, but also in terms of cancer surveillance and even cancer treatment, and certainly inflammation balance, that this maintaining a good circadian balance so your body knows what to do and when is really critical. And, you know, certainly a fundamental mediator of that process seems to be melatonin. So this is a work in progress, isn't it, amongst many researchers?
It is. And I'm so glad that we're waking up to this cycle of light and dark.
No pun intended.
We're becoming more enlightened, right? We're waking up to it. And, you know,
yeah, I always knew you were bright anyway, so I don't explore the dark side.
Well, one of the things I would like to see, even from a laboratory perspective, is perhaps connecting to the clock genes. You know, is there a way to assess individualized variability, so gene variants in clock genes, and how we might be able to get a little bit of a window into what's happening at our personalized organ system level, so that we can better regulate these many different hormones. And I think that ancient traditions have been keyed into this for some time. We look at Ayurveda, we look at traditional Chinese medicine. There was always a system of organs and times when they were most responsive. So I think in the future, we're going to have metrics, we're going to have devices, we're going to have gene variants that may coincide with our circadian rhythm to give us better visibility into perhaps dosing of things like melatonin, or even looking at the interrelationship of all of the hormones. Because one of the things we didn't talk about is how melatonin at night, but then cortisol, testosterone in the morning hours. So, there's this whole cycle of hormones that are all playing together. So if we tug at one and we're constantly up late at night on our devices and we're tugging on melatonin, then chances are we're going to be disturbing the spider web of other hormones, things like cortisol, testosterone, estrogen, etc.
You think? Anyway, gots to go. Later.